Hi, this is Paolo. So a few days ago, I was looking for a film back for my Mia RB67 because, of course, it's helpful during a session to move from one film roll to the other very quickly. And, a film back for this camera is about 100, 110, maybe a little more. And depends on where you find. Of course, you have to add shipping. And while I was looking for this, I found something completely different. And I'm thinking, well, I still need a way of continuing working during a session with my clients, so, doing portraiture. I still need to find a way of continuing the workflow very quickly, and possibly in 6x7, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same camera, because what I found was, let me show you, this beast here. This is the Sony Omega Rapid 200. There are several incarnations of this camera. And the 200 actually is nice because it allows you to change the film back with a partially loaded roll. And I wasn't really looking for that, but what caught my attention was the price, $150. So it was just a little more than the film back, but I'm getting a full camera, a different camera, which is always fun and always useful. A viewfinder camera, which is unusual for a medium format camera, and a 180 millimeter lens. So what was the problem? Well, let me show you. The 180 millimeter lens is actually fairly rare for this camera. The 90 millimeter is very, very common. And those are all good lenses. It's just that this lens by itself is generally sold for $500. So when I see a camera, complete system, with a film back and everything, and a lens that normally costs $500 for $150, well, of course, my interest was at the maximum. And so the problem was the seller, excellent seller, 100% rating on eBay, which is what you want. The seller didn't test it. And so the camera was as is, no returns accepted. So a bit of a risk. And but I'm thinking, you know what? I always wanted this camera. It's a weird ass. I mean, look at this. Look. No one, but three cold shoes. This is incredible. Incredible camera. Beast, really. I'm thinking, okay, well, I always wanted the Sony Omega. If this one doesn't work, maybe the next one I'll buy will work. I can keep this as spare parts. And if by any chance the 180 millimeter lens works, well then I can even sell the lens and use it to finance more film or more cameras. And so I bought it immediately, because when you see these things, if you blink, somebody else will snatch it. And this was not an auction, it was a buy now listing. So absolutely necessary to make a decision in the matter of a few minutes. I did. And on top of everything, the camera was actually in the US, which is a bit of advantage because shipping costs less. And you're getting it very quickly. In fact, I got it basically, I bought it on a Friday, last Friday, Saturday was shipped, and Tuesday was here. Now, the camera had an issue, as expected, but the lens looks fantastic. The lens doesn't have fungus, doesn't have hazing. All the aperture positions are working, and for what I can tell, the shutter works too. This is a classic, what's called, the shutter is built in the lens. It's a leaf shutter. And so each lens has its own shutter. The shutter seems to be working. The speeds seem accurate as much as I can judge by just listening to it. But everything works fine. The dark slide is available, and it came also with a 220 film back, which is of course useless because we don't have 220 film anymore. But you never know. Maybe tomorrow Kodak or Ilford or both will get the gumption to try 220 again. God knows how many photographers will be happy to have 220 film today. And so anyway, the 220 film back is included, $150. The only problem was, and this is part of the fascination, this camera has one of the most unique ways of advancing film, which is a push and pull, actually pull and push system. Look at this. Isn't that fantastic? So what it does, this system is advancing the film, and it's also cocking the shutter. Now let's pull the slide a little out. You can click it. So if you're looking at this mechanism here, you will see that it goes this way and then goes back. This lever here on the lens, this rod actually, goes this way and then it should come back. Well, the advanced mechanism was stuck, was not returning, was getting stuck halfway. So it was just a matter of giving a little bit of cleaning, lubricate, CLA, and now it seems to be working fine. But I still don't know if the camera operates correctly, if the light seals are tight. So what we're going to do today is to go downtown to the College of Charleston bookstore, get a roll of film. I have film here, but I have T-Max. I don't want to use T-Max as a test. So I'm going to go get a roll of Arista 100, which is FOMA 100. It's about $5. So it's a good, cheap film. It's inexpensive, but it is a good film. So I'm going to go there and then stroll along, around downtown Charleston and take some photos, 10 exposures. Then we'll come back. I'll develop them and see what we got. Okay, let's go and start this camera test for the Kony Omega Rapid 200. All right. I have shot my roll of FOMA 100 with this camera here. I'm right now at the Naval Base of Charleston. I spent some time in downtown Charleston, and then I did the last, I think the last 4 here. And now it's time to develop this roll of film and see what happened. Will the camera result as a good camera, as a workable camera, as a usable camera from now on, or do we need to make some repairs? We're gonna find out. All right, I'm back home after I lugged this beast around. You can see I have my strap mounts here because I was carrying this around my neck, well, across. Anyway, that's a heavy camera, but it was actually not too bad. It is really a interesting experience to go around the city and trying to catch some photos when using a beast like this, thinking about how this was so commonplace in the time of photojournalism on film, and this was also used for weddings. So people were really able to go around, and I found myself a couple of times not knowing what to do with a slide, the dark slide here. There's a dark slide here to protect the film. And because in this way you can remove the entire back. Yeah, it's interesting. The back protrudes all the way here, and so the camera has actually some protection mechanism where if you have the dark slide all pushed in, it will not shoot. It will not work. The shutter will not work. So anyway, I have the film still in there. It's time to put it inside the developing tank and see what happened. So here we are in the bathroom. I have the film loaded here, and I have my chemicals ready, the fixer, and my developer. Actually, hold on. The developer is in two parts, and so we are going to just develop the film, put it to hang, and we'll decide, how it came out. Now, this is also a great opportunity to show you that all I'm doing here is working in a tiny bathroom. You don't need a dedicated space to develop your own film. You don't need a dark room. You just need a change tent that where you can move a roll of film into a tank like this, and that can be done in any space. And so developing a home is really not a problem. It can be done in most situations. And let's get started. Oh, by the way, gloves. Don't ever touch these chemicals with your hands, with your bare hands. They're not cyanide, but definitely they're not healthy for your skin. All right, I have developed and fixed the film. I still have to wash it, but at this stage we can take a quick look. If we have anything, you are seeing this at the same time. Well, it's recorded, but I haven't looked at this. So we're gonna just open the tank. This is filled with fixer still. And yes, I don't know if you can see from the video, but we definitely have the impression of the frame. So yes, we have photos. So now I'm gonna wash the film with water, and then we're gonna look at that again when it's done. So I'm in a funny position now because I have the camera pointing down, so I can show you the result of the development of those photographs. I haven't opened the roll yet. It is, you can see it right there inside the last phase of rinsing. So let's find out together. I hope the camera will frame it correctly, but let's find out if these photos are, they're any good. So here we go. I used a little bit of wetting agent just to avoid the stains of hard water. So we're going to do a quick shake to get the most of the water out of the film. Always have a few rags or towels to catch some spillage. Much better than paper towel. Okay, so this is done. Okay, let's find out. Let's see. Yeah, I think you can see it from there. And this is foam, so it's all sticking together. All right. There you go. All right. Well, we definitely, let me see, can you see? There you go. We definitely have photos. Are they any good? I think actually they're looking exposed pretty well. I'm pleased. All right, time to hang them and then scan them. Okay, so the photos are scanned now, they're in the computer, and let's take a look at what we obtained. So this is the first photo, and I'm pleased with the level of detail, but when I look at this area here, I can see what I think is a light leak. That's interesting. So let's take a look at the second one. And yeah, definitely there is a bit of fogging here, which I think is definitely a light leak. Okay, but everything else looks pretty good. Now, this is interesting. This one I really measured the lighting correctly. I used my phone for this because having the camera, this heavy camera and a tripod, I didn't want to bring with me my light meter. I have a spot meter, a Minolta old spot meter, which is fantastic, but it's really like the size of a Super 8 movie camera and quite as heavy. So I used one of those apps with my phone, and I calibrated the app before with the spot meter so that it was close enough. Now, I'm really happy with the tonality of this little tunnel. I was in a little tunnel, in a gate that is downtown at the College of Charleston, and I really love these webs here and the gate, and I don't see any light leak here. That's interesting. So let's go to the next one, little detail. And again, this photo is basically perfect. There is no leakage anywhere. The highlights have been preserved. There is a good tonality here in the peeling plaster. So that's very nice. But not light leaks. So did I just dream? It was something that I did wrong? Well, same thing here. So the story is very simple. There is a light leak, and I'll tell you in a minute where I found it. But I was inside this little tunnel, and so there was enough darkness inside that it didn't cause the light leak in the camera because there was no direct sun. And so this is an interesting situation, and the light leak is definitely there, but it is something that is not that strong. It's not that there isn't a wide open part of the camera, and so a little bit of indirect light doesn't affect the picture. You see that the tonality here, this is largely unchanged. I added a little bit of general contrast, but I didn't compensate anything here. So here we are back. I actually at the naval base of Charleston, and again we can see clearly this, a good 1/3 of the frame being fogged. And I had the brilliant idea of using just holding the camera handheld because I didn't want to carry the tripod, and it's been pretty much a disaster because I just don't have such a firm hand, especially with a camera that is very unbalanced and quite heavy. So, but this is clearly a case for showing a light leak coming from frame right. And same here, this is actually quite a disaster of a frame, but anyway. So, armed with this evidence, I decided to look at the camera, and let me show you what I did. So, given that the light leak comes from the right side of the frame, I thought, I'm sure this is caused by the dark slide. When you take the dark slide out, of course, there is a little bit of an opening. I mean, there isn't, there shouldn't be, there should be sealed, but this is the place where most likely a light leakage can happen. And so I removed the film back. The film back is divided into parts. And so we open this, and this comes out. Perfect. So I removed the slide with the film I don't know what it's called. This is not the carrier, this is really the film carrier, but this is the other half, the inner half of the film bag. So I looked inside in a completely dark room, and then I started shining a light all around it. And to my surprise, I couldn't find any leakage. I mean, it's a good thing. The camera is light tight, as it should be. But then where was the problem? Like I tried here, this is most obvious, no, didn't. Tried everywhere, all around, absolutely dark. Perfect. So, well, wouldn't you know, this is what happened. We take the film back and we put it back into the camera. Like so, okay. Hold on. Hard to do with one hand only. There you go. Perfect. And then we lock it. Now this wheel here, there's a little window. Okay, we press it and we lock it. Then it clicks back in place. Now is the time to take the entire block out. This camera, this is the Rapid 200, and it is designed to allow us to take the roll out of the camera while the roll is still half used. No, it's not completed. Okay, so we unlock this. And now we take everything out. Now you can see there is obviously a big, hold on. There is a big hole here where the entire block goes with a dark slide. So cannot use this configuration to test for light leaks because there is one big one here, but that's how it's meant to be. So, so the next thing I just kicked my camera. So the next thing I did was to take this dark slide out, and you do this in a dark room, not in a dark room, a photographic dark room. You can do it in a closet, a room that is dark. And so I put this part to my eye. It doesn't matter that you see clearly. I cannot see that clearly at that distance, but when I use a little LED flashlight, then yes, you can see a light leak right around here and right around here. So yeah, the seals from this camera are old. I think that this camera might be as old as 1968. And when we are looking at the way that it's done, it's a very typical design. This piece needs to be able to be taken apart freely and at the same time stay light tight. So how they do it? There is a groove. Let me see if I can show you here. There is a groove all around right here, see? And this continues all around. There is all around here. And we see there is a counterpart here, no? This is what goes like this. Not doing a good job at demonstrating, but it's tough to do it in a way that shows on camera. Okay, so there you go. So of course, this part needs to be light tight. So all this is light tight. So the counterpart is an edge. Now, to make a perfect seal here, having two matching parts is not enough. You need a tighter way of making that happen. And so what they did is to add a bit of rubbery or foamy material inside the groove. Now, of course, that material is, well, it's old, it's very old. Some of this stuff might be from 1968, 1970. We're talking about decades and decades of some material that normally will just degrade in the span of probably 10 years. So no mystery here. Now, this kind of approach is used throughout the entire production of film cameras and in other devices like the the film canister. Here, where the film comes out of the canister, we need to have a light seal, because otherwise, when the movie, again, I keep saying movie, when the film is retracted by any reason, is retracted in there, if this is not tight, well, some light would go inside and possibly ruin it. So the dilemma of moving parts and light tightness, that is a theme throughout the film camera world. Okay, so what do we do in this case? Well, it's not always possible to do like this, but I did a quick search online and I did find that somebody created a new set of light seals for this kind of film back. So I ordered a new set, which should arrive soon. And once it arrives, I will apply it, put a new roll of film, go and test the camera and make a video for that too. So I hope this was useful. Thank you very much for watching. If you find this kind of material useful, please like and subscribe to the channel. It will help getting new videos in the future. I'm Paolo here in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you for watching.